We're live here with sporting team BUCC Athletico United from Australia versus UNO from Japan. This is the first matchup in our Wednesday power pools. I'm Liam Rosen from Skyd Magazine, here with Nikki Smith on another beautiful morning in Lecco, Italy.
Two very, very exciting dominant teams here, Liam. I'm really excited for this game. We've got Australia's national champions playing Japan's national champions.
UNO singing for their warm-up. We've been watching them all warm up. They've got a very distinct style, as many Japanese women's teams do, that is. They were marching in a line, very regimented, and one of our production guys, Mike Palmer, walked by. He said, wow, they take their warm-up seriously. As he watched them doing a huck drill, they were full extension layouts by the mantra, if you don't lay out in warm-ups, you're not going to do it in the game.
Very, very intense warm-up by the Japanese women. Nice, calm, collected warm-up by the Team BUCC girls. This season, Team BUCC has made a conscious effort to control their body language, to project a very calm, composed, positive image with their body language, with the way they talk on the field. And they're certainly starting off that way now.
So both teams will call out their lines. UNO's still undefeated on the tournament, emerged as first place in their pool.
Team BUCC only going down yesterday to Revolution from Colombia by 2 points. Other than that, undefeated so far. Very dominant in their games. And Michelle Phillips, World Games player, has her hand up, ready to receive the pull for Team BUCC.
Two sisters on this team, Michelle Phillips and Kat Phillips, two of the strongest players in Australian women's ultimate.
Known worldwide, too. I'm pretty sure they have some fans tuning in from the Philippines, from Japan, from Colombia. Very well-known girls.
If you are watching from Japan, Australia, anywhere else in the world, send us some messages on Twitter. You can find me at Skyd_Liam Rosen. That's Liam_Rosen. Nikki Smith is I am Smithers. I_am_Smithers. As BUCC starts it out. Team BUCC into the center. Phillips controlling it. Team BUCC working it down the field. Centered back to Phillips. Looks like there's a pick call downfield.
Returning the disc is Chloe McDonald. Now, she's been a juniors player and under-23s player. She's from small town Ballarat in Victoria, Australia, and has been on the scene for a very long time.
Play restarts. Phillips with it again. Phillips looking for the upline cut. Gets it into her sister, Catherine Phillips, who dishes to Claire Hussey for the score. Team BUCC goes up 1-0 and holds on offense.
Right there you have a string of connections between three Firetails players from Australia. So the Firetails are the women's Australian team for World Championships. So Michelle Phillips to Kat Phillips to Claire Hussey, but no one really knows her name's Claire. Everyone just calls her Hussey or Huss. And she's generally a handler, so that was a nice cut. She did into the end zone there. Should be pretty happy with that to start off Team Box.
So pull going up. And Uno will work on their offense. Very close to the disc are the members of Uno's stack. Lots of clutter in the fourth field. And it's hucked deep right away. Disc floating out into space, but too far.
Looks like Liz Eady is walking to pick up the disc, if I'm not mistaken. So Liz currently lives in Canberra, previously in Melbourne and previously in England, 2 times World Games player and 3 times Firetails player.
Team Box with a lot of Australian World Games players on their roster. It's a low throw, picked up by Maylin Chua, who sends it deep, no one there.
Maylin absolutely loves that throw. We should be looking for her to do that many times during this game. Generally, she connects.
So a couple early turnovers from both teams.
Both teams really taking their time to set up their offense, wanting to approach this very calmly. And again, a really, really short stack from Uno. Looks like they want to leave themselves a lot of room to run into.
This is something that we've seen with a number of Japanese teams, although this formation, very odd. Not really a horizontal stack. There's 4 handlers and 3 cutters downfield. Dishes up line. Uno still working it. Dumps off. And it's hucked deep right away. Samashima's there. Makes the catch right on the end zone line. Samashima looking for the dump. Great dump defense by the Australians, and it's a stall out.
Really great defense there by Team Box, really cutting off all of the options for the Japanese girls.
And that's one of the first stall outs we've seen all tournament. Samashima wasn't even able to get a throw off before the stall. It's an overthrow though, and Japanese control again. Hori. Back to Fujikawa. Samashima. Inside break, and the disc is dropped by Inamura. Team Box looking to grab a break. On that far sideline, still working it up the open side. Team Box right on the end zone line for the second goal of the game. So Team Box breaks to go up 2-0 after several turnovers from both teams.
Really nice connections there, working it carefully down the line and into the middle, looking for the goal. I believe that was Sarah Brereton who caught the goal. She is a pickup for Team Box from WA. There's 2 Brereton sisters in WA who dominate the scene out there, and one of them has come to play with Team Box for this tournament. The team you see here is basically the team that won national championships this year in Australia for Team Box. They've got 4 additional players that they've picked up from around the country. One of those is number 18, Danny Anderson from Canberra, and a World Games player. You'll be seeing a lot of her this game.
And this team you see on your screen, STBAU or STBAU, the full name of the team, Sporting Team Box Athletico United. Probably the longest team name at this tournament.
And probably has the most variations on it too. Just a correction, Danny Alexander, not Danny Anderson.
Uno thinks about sending it deep. Throw's not there. Fujikawa off to Samashima. Fujikawa still with it, center of the field. Very hard defense from the Australians. Samashima dumps back to Fujikawa. Fujikawa, she's loving that inside break into the center of the field. Samashima again thinks about the deep shot, but we talked to them before the game. Uno said they knew the Australians were a very tall team. They're going to try to work it up with short passes. Is this forehand flip into the end zone? Glides out of bounds.
So it's looking like number 15, Joy Lee, is going to pick up the disc. Joy is one of the original founders of the team. Joy, together with Hussey and Liz Eady, all lived in England together for a spell. Came back to Australia in 2006 and started a new women's team for the 2007 season. Joy has played on the Firetails, on the women's Australian national team. I believe she's also played on a mixed Australian representative team. She loves her hucks. There we go.
And you called it, Nikki. Hucking deep right away. Great box out, though, by Samashima. Mizukami back to Samashima. Mizuno. Mizuno thinking about the inside break. Dumps to Samashima. Samashima sends it deep. Fantastic block by Lauren Tink.
Lauren Tink was a rookie this year for Team Box. I've seen some of the highlights from their nationals play. She does a lot of good things, and I think the thing she does best is run. She is very, very speedy. I saw her overtaking Revolution players from behind yesterday, and I'd wager that very few women here can do that.
So Joy Lee will pick the disc back up. It's not been a offensively precise game so far with turnovers from both squads. Lee gets it into middle to Phillips. Phillips controlling again. Tink. Looks like there's a call on the field. Pick call. So disc will return. I'm not sure if we'll go all the way back to Tink or stay with Tegan Dawn. It looks like it will go back to Tink. Stahl coming in at 4 for Tink. Tink immediately gets it off to Dawn. Dawn dumps back to Lee. Lee, backhand rip deep. Looked like it was going to be overthrown, but Caitlin Richards makes a play on it.
Caitlin Richards is another great runner. I'm not surprised she got there.
Call on the field. They're looking at the game advisor now. Those of you that are new to broadcasts see the yellow game advisor on the screen. This is a new initiative from WIFTIF. Is a high release backhand gets put up easily though. D'd by the Japanese. Fujikawa to Inamura. The defense has been smothering for both teams. Inside break. Inamura is putting it deep. Kimura has steps. Makes the catch. Back to Fujikawa. Fujikawa, forehand. Swing. Yui Mizuno. Back to Fujikawa. That is a textbook end zone offense right there. You want to look at the dumping and swinging of Uno getting it done for their first point of the board, down 2-1 to Team Box.
And I think, luckily for Uno there, Michelle Phillips had poached off her player, and they really took advantage of that. There wasn't much of a contest on that disc.
You can see our Twitter accounts up there on the screen. Send us some tweets. We'll read out the best ones on the air. Liam Rosen from Skide Magazine here with Nikki Smith. This is Skide's coverage of the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships. As we see the replay, the textbook end zone offense from Uno, swinging and dumping around the field, staying in front of the defenders. That's exactly what you want to do in the end zone. We've seen far too many high releases or trying to jam it up the line. Beat it with the jump and the dump and swing.
Just a quick correction before. The Brereton sister who is here is not Sarah. It is, in fact, Rebecca Brereton.
Team Box puts it deep. Strong backhand rip. Japanese defender does a good job of the box out.
I believe that was Mandy Fung who went up for a big jump there. I've played with and against Mandy Fung probably for 7 years now. I used to go to her high school where she and a number of the players on this team first started playing. Do some coaching there. Number 10, Lucy Stevenson on defense here. Longtime box player, team box player.
Fukuoka puts it deep. The youngest player in this Uno team with a turnover. So several deep shot turnovers from both squads. Uno told us early they were going to try to work the disc down the field with short passes. Fung with the reception. Gets it over to Harris. Shuwei Huang into the end zone, finding Lucy Stevenson for the score. So Sporting Team Box, Athletico United now up 3-1 early in the game.
So Shuwei, who scored that point with a beautiful huck, she's from the Dominican Republic, and she used to be quite an accomplished tennis player, playing in the university circuit in America for years. She came to Australia to study and ended up immigrating. I remember when she first came to Australia, very, very keen to learn Ultimate. She'd just begun playing in the Dominican Republic as well, where they have a strong program. And she has improved in leaps and bounds over the years. Now a very dominant hucker on Team Box.
Cole coming off for Team Box. They've had a nice start to the game so far. Lots of errors from Uno. Uno, though, if they can clean up their offense, will be right back in it. Mizukami to Fujikawa. Fujikawa thinks about the forehand inside out. And how many times have we seen her throw that as the huck goes up? It's going to be just a bit too far. So another huck turnover from Uno.
I saw a lot of layouts from the Japanese team in warm-up. Certainly an intimidating warm-up if you were the opposition and watching it, which I don't think Team Box was. But I feel like there's a couple times here where they could have continued with those layouts and haven't done it. Liz Eady going to pick up the disc. Liz Eady, if you're a player who wants to become an excellent handler, Liz Eady is the woman to watch. Her break throws and her low release are unparalleled, I would say.
So Edie puts the disc into play, swings it immediately to Chloe McDonald.
Chloe loves that high release flick.
Over to Cox. McDonald's cutting up line. Cox finds Edie again for the bailout. Nat Ray. And a drop disc.
That's unlucky.
Tony Cox unable to get two hands on it as the morning dew is making the disc quite slippery. The sun is just coming up and burning it off now, as you can see on your stream. Samashima. Inside break to Yuki Kimura. Sending it deep. Disc is going to float, and the layout score. And just as you said, Nikki, they finally were able to pull the trigger.
Yep, that's what they needed to do there. Keeping the game close for Uno.
Saori Mitsukami with the layout score on the hook.
I was just about to say that Uno seems to have a more organic celebration style than many of the Japanese women's teams, but they just did a coordinated cheer there. I'm listening out as well for the team box cheers. They have a lot of unique cheers, chants, cross-field, answer-back cheers. Haven't seen any of those yet, but we may shortly.
Let's take another look at that hook.
Great layout.
Saori Mitsukami leaving her feet. So just a 1-point game. Team box up 3-2. Still a lot of sun today in Lecco. We saw yesterday evening very scattered rain showers. We maybe had about a minute or two of rain total. We were scared for a bit, heard some thunderclaps, but everything seemed to pass. So after a wet last week that made the fields muddy, as you see on your stream, the fields are torn up. Actually, all this pretty much happened in the first game between Buzz Bullets and Emo when the ground was still soft. Since then, the sun has come out. It's really dried up the fields in the mud and made everything a lot more playable here in Lecco.
They put some sawdust on the field, which is a strategy I hadn't seen before. I think they could have done with a little more sawdust. It really sopped up some of the water. It's mostly gone now. You can see a little bit of it on your screen still. Some of the other fields in this competition are faring a lot less well than this one.
Phillips into the center. Phillips controlling again, gets up with the one-handed grab. Backhand to the far side.
It's Quinette Armstrong with the disc.
Armstrong finding Richards. To Lee. Active mark from the Japanese. Lee finds Hussey. Dumps back to Lee, forehand into the center. Caitlin Richards stands still, able to grab it. Armstrong again finding Caitlin Richards. So Caitlin Richards, the target for a couple of those gainer shots, finally getting Team Box another point on the board. So they maintain a 2-point lead, up 4-2 early.
Quinette Armstrong will be really excited about that point. She is a new player for Team Box this year. She moved to Australia with her husband and 3 children at the beginning of 2014, maybe late 2013. An experienced player who's played all around the world. She used to play in Prague. She played with the Prague team, the Hot Beaches, I think, last Worlds. And she is a very, very, very hard worker. I've trained with her. I've sprinted with her, and she will outsprint a lot of the girls on this team. Has really worked hard to find her niche on this team, and obviously is doing so.
See here the replay. Caitlin Richards getting it done for Team Box.
You'll notice that Caitlin and another girl on the team, Molly Young, both have very short hair. They've recently shaved their heads for charity. I know in the case of Madeline Young, it's for Ultimate Peace, and I think that's the same with Caitlin Richards.
So pull up into Fujikawa. Tomoko Inamura with it. Fujikawa, Samashima setting it deep. And that's a perfect deep shot run down by Hori. Hori not in. And a bidding defender, Rebecca Brereton.
That was a great bid, and they took advantage of the timing. Once she was on the ground, the Uno player was still there for the score. So really nice fast-moving play there by Uno to keep themselves within a point of team box.
Uno staying close, 3-4. And if you look here on your stream, something I'm very impressed by, Nikki, is the matching color-coded hats that Uno is wearing. We'll have to ask them if those have any significance as to which players are wearing which colors of hats, because it looks like they have an even number of colors on each team.
That's true. That's true. It could have to do with their positions on the field. O and D lines, who knows?
Take another look at that replay. Brereton bidding, and Uno taking advantage to send it into Tomoko Inamura for the score.
That was a fantastic bid. Limbs everywhere. It was great. She gave everything, but Uno just took advantage.
And sometimes close to the end zone, you can't overcommit like that. You want to maintain stability on your feet and just try to put pressure on the mark. So pull goes up for box. Sideline starting to get loud for the Japanese as Nomadic Tribe has come over to support their female players. Looks like there's a call downfield, pick call. I'm really impressed by Team Box. Their use of the whiff-diff hand signals is very good. You don't see that with a lot of teams. They must have studied up. You see a lot of players repeating the hand signal for the pick call downfield. Well,
Tegan Dawn is partners with Ruben Berg. They have a child together, and Ruben Berg is very keen on the hand signals.
Box breaks into the center.
It's another Firetails player, Haley with the disc.
Harris finding Phillips. Not in yet. Box the scuba over the defenders. Don't know if Harris was the intended receiver for that, but Team Box gets it done again. Some nice break throws, maintains the 2-point lead, 5-3.
I spoke to Haley Harris this morning. She says she's feeling reasonably good. She had a very unfortunate situation in Japan in 2012. She was a Firetail, and in one of her warm-up pre-tournament matches, look, it could have been against this team. It was against a Japanese team in Japan. She rolled an ankle. I think that meant she didn't get to play at all in Worlds in Japan. So it's great to see that in the last 2 years she's worked really hard. She's battled a number of injuries, but it's looking like she's healthy now. I actually know, well, Liam and I were told before this game, of the 24 players on the Team Box squad, all 24 of them are playing, are in great condition, are managing their injuries. There's no one sitting off. I'd say with a team that's trained this hard for this long, to have no one sitting out with an injury is an impressive accomplishment. Stuart King, their team osteopath, can take some of the credit for that, that's for sure.
And especially impressive considering the tough pool they were in. They were in the pool with Revolution, Mud, and UFO came in as second in the pool. Did end up beating Mud, but only 14-10. That was a pool of death. No team has shown zone so far, both employing man defense. Sent deep. Very nice deep cut. And the same receiver, Minako Hori, has proved a very effective deep cutter. Hori up the near sideline. Inamura. More swinging from Uno. Inamura to Samashima. Samashima, forehand break to Inamura. So it's Inamura and Samashima doing the handler weave for Uno. Still within 1 point, 5-4 Team Box.
That was some great play, some great patience on the end line there by the Uno girls. Now, I've got a tweet that I'm going to read out from Shannon Trenwith, who is watching in Australia. She said, "I am Smithers nailed it. Chloe does love that high release." She sure does, and I bet we will be seeing more of that this game. Chloe is a very, very capable handler. Oh, and Patrick Dunn, also watching from Melbourne, has chimed in. "I am Smithers, Shannon Trenwith. It's unique but effective." It is. I don't think anyone is expecting that high release huck. Sorry, high release forehand.
Amanda Kostick, star for University of Washington Element and player for Portland Schwa in the women's division in the U.S., just tweeted at Sky Magazine, "I learned how to throw my outside in flick from Kat Phillips. Fun fact, hashtag she is so good."
Awesome. When Amanda was in Australia a few years ago, those two were really good friends. I think she came to Australia. I've seen them together at Potlatch.
Backhand pull from Uno, but Box gaining very good field position.
Hand block on Brereton.
Uno going the other way. This is their chance to even it up. Fukuoka sends it deep. The nearly blind defense from Uno, from Team Box. Uno now right on the end zone, trying to jam it in. High release goes up, and it's controlled by Kanai. And Uno's D-line finally with a chance to convert. They are extremely happy about that break opportunity.
I think they were a little bit lucky on that goal. There was a lot of risky plays, a lot of plays that Team Box, you know, was within an inch or two of defending. So my guess is if they keep with risky plays like that, Team Box will get on top of it and defend successfully.
Box, since their founding in the mid-2000s, has been very successful on the Australian circuit.
They've won 2 national championships. I believe they've been in a total of 6 finals. I spoke to them before the tournament, and they said they're tired of silver medals. They have enough second-place trophies in their cabinet. But they've certainly been a very dominant force in Australian Ultimate.
Interestingly enough, I think Uno would say the same thing. They also took home second place, not only in Perth in 2006 at the World Ultimate Club Championships, but at clubs in Prague in 2010, also taking home the silver medal against Fury. So big expectations on for Uno, although they told us, speaking with the captain, as we see a zone here for the first time from Uno. Kat Phillips, though,
has no problem with that zone.
No hesitation in sending it deep to the taller receiver.
That's Danny Alexander. That is a World Games connection right there. That connection is what helped Australia come second at World Games in Cali last year. And I think that we will be seeing more of that. Danny Alexander, look, the last 2 times that Australia has sent a World Games team, one of the women has been a relative newcomer to Ultimate, just a terrific athlete, dominant in another sport, but only playing Ultimate 1 or 2 years. And that's the case with Danny Alexander. I don't know her previous sport, possibly basketball, but she'd been playing 2 years and is just a machine and can run, can jump, and her layouts are absolutely spectacular. So made a big contribution at World Games and is doing the same thing here.
So Team Box, the huck right away. Zone does not work for Uno. Back up 1. Both teams with a break. It's going to be another junk defense from Team Box. It looks like it's only for a couple of throws as we hear them counting throws on the sideline.
They still look like they've got 3 girls around the disc. No, they've transitioned to man at this stage.
And in the transition, sometimes that happens. You force a turnover off confusion.
Uno taking their time to set up the offense they want. Again, a relatively short stack.
Phillips is going to go deep right away. They'll move it within the handlers. Kat Phillips trying to get it off the line. Nice upline cut from Hussey. Back to Phillips. Phillips, far sideline, slips in the dew. Swings off to Lee. Box flowing very well as there's a call on the field.
Possibly a pick. Unlikely that Michelle Phillips would have gotten that open. She is very good at getting open, but there was quite a few meters between her and her defender there.
Joy Lee. Back to Kat Phillips. Phillips, forehand blade in the end zone. Two Japanese defenders there. And her sister almost makes the catch. But the pressure from Uno is too great, so Box unable to convert that break. Uno going the other way.
That sister connection has taken many Australian teams and Team Box some very, very high, some very good games, some wins.
Inamura to Fujikawa. And cuts aren't coming from downfield. Uno said they wanted to use short passes as they throw the bladey huck here. It just sits out enough. And Samashima had a chance at catching that. I think was confused, though, as to which receiver was actually going to go for the disc. And it's another overthrow from Box.
Team Box really took advantage to move the disc quickly there on the turnover. Kat Phillips trademark, pick it up, give and go. Within an inch of traveling, she keeps that foot down, but her give and goes are very, very, very hard to keep up with. And obviously the Japanese players weren't able to do it.
Inamura puts the disc into play. Swings off to Fujikawa. Fujikawa inside break. Boy, does she love that throw. Into Samashima. Kimura. To Mizukami. Mizukami overthrown.
Decisive D by Hussey.
Claire Hussey making sure that disc stays on the ground as Phillips unmarked. Mark finally gets on. That's going to be sent deep. There was a collision downfield. Phillips will try to catch up. Fantastic speed from Phillips with a pancake grab. Box just needs to stay patient now near the end zone. McDonald. Stall count must be getting high now. Back to Hussey. Into Phillips for the score. Team Box back up to 7-5.
I'm going to say that point was all Hussey. It started back in the middle of the field, and Hussey is famous for her huck face. It's a much discussed part of Australian Ultimate. She gets her huck face on, and so she moves the disc close to the end zone, which obviously enabled them to score the point. Her dump, and then came back for the dump. So be looking for Huss to get her huck face on more and more throughout this game. I've got some tweets here. Shannon Twenworth again. Zab gets a mention as a handler to learn from. Apt comment. So Zab is Elizabeth Eady. Team Box has a number of nicknames for a number of players. So Liz Eady's name is Elizabeth. So they've taken the Zab from Elizabeth as a nickname. And yes, she is a handler to learn from. I played with her at World Club Championships in 2010 when Team Box didn't send a team, but the other Melbourne team that I play for, Honey, went and picked up both Liz Eady and Tegan Dawn, who are playing here today with Team Box. Looks like it's a timeout.
So both teams taking the time to talk things over. This is the first time out of the game. We've seen not many adjustments from both teams. Uno's tried to put on his zone, and they are a bit surprised, I think, to be down 2 to Box, just considering the high expectations that were placed on them to going into this tournament. So
I'm very interested, Liam, and you mentioned this before. They told us before the game that they would be looking for a short passing style of play, which makes complete sense given the height difference. I really feel like they're setting themselves up for a hucking game. They put all 7 of their players literally within, I don't know, 15 meters of each other, close to their end zone, leaving the whole field you would think, to huck into. So I'm interested in that strategy and whether it's going to work for them.
I was actually thinking that they had put them so close just because they were trying to work with such short passes that they didn't want to go further than that. But I am not sure about the setting up close to the stack. We saw that earlier as well when we broadcasted the Huck game. They did the same thing. They had their players very, very close, closer than I had ever seen before. So Uno, the Japanese champions, set up to receive the pull as Box breaks out of their timeout. Uno picks up. Short pull from Team Box. Swung all around the field. That's something that Uno's been very good at, is switching the field, moving the disc, and opening up new passing lanes. They've also constantly been looking for the inside out. As we see here, handlers poaching the lanes, doing a very good job of shutting off those short throws from Uno. So a great adjustment on defense from Team Box. Wicked bullet inside out to Samashima. And again to Fujikawa. Thinking about sending it deep, not there. Hesitates, inside out. Again to Inamura, who sends it deep. And the score secured for Uno.
Really great handling work there by Uno. They love their very tricky little inside out. An inside out short forehand, I think, is one of the hardest throws to throw. And they, especially the shorter the harder. And they master those and just sneak the disc around the Team Box players for a well-earned point there.
So Uno, the Japanese champions last year, putting in a point to bring it within 1. They also went to Dream Cup this year, won that one. Talked to Captain Akina Fujikawa before the game. She told us there are a lot of rookies on this team. They've had to integrate 7 new players, but I'm sure their practice schedule has helped them out. They are from a city called Nagoya in Japan. The idea behind the team, which has existed since 2005, was to create playing opportunities in this region. Some of their players commute up to 2 hours to practice, which just really shows how much dedication they have to want to play for this fun and strong team, as they describe themselves. So, Team Box, about 3/4 of the way up the field. Harris finding Richards. Back into the center to Lee. Brereton. Back to Lee. Lee with a very loose mark. Lee's going to put it up the open side, and no problem for Team Box as Rebecca Brereton reels in the score. So Team Box holding on to the 2-point lead despite the best efforts of Uno on defense.
And that will be halftime. As some of you at home will know, they have changed the length of the games and a few of the rules around timing and time cap because of the conditions of the fields. So instead of a half at 9, we have a half at 8. But they have added 1 extra timeout for these teams in this game. I think it's a power pool thing. So the teams have 3 timeouts available and will now have a 10-minute halftime.
We're going to go to a halftime interview, so stay tuned. Don't look away. This is Liam Rosen with Nikki Smith on Sky Magazine's coverage of the World Ultimate Club Championships in the women's division. We have Uno down 2 to Team Box from Australia.
David, you see Ruben's right there.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Ultimate Globetrotter. We're here on Boracay Island in the Philippines, home of the Beach Ultimate Kings of Asia, the fierce and speedy Boracay Dragons.
I think running on the sand's going to get easier, but it doesn't.
So we are on our way to check out some cockfighting.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Boracay Open has always been the turf of the Dragons.
Most of the players are based here in the island. It's second nature to them to run on the beach.
When we train almost every day.
High knees in the water, swimming, sprinting on the beach. Do this after every single practice.
You know, it's what they do. They're beach ultimate players.
Movement is like I 1 and 2.
The only thing we ask from them is to train. Train hard and play hard.
Younger boy.
You have to think that this is already the championship game.
You have to aggressively send your kite back to 12, pull the bar.
We're here at Mandala Spa and Villas, about to receive an world-class massage.
It's not just about the game, it's also about our lifestyle here in the island.
The Dragons are the beach kings of Asia and maybe the world soon. It's now time also for us to share to the world what we know about Beach Ultimate.
Skype Magazine がお送りしました。
Skype Magazine.
Sky Magazine!
Sky Magazine.
Sky D!
Meine Aufgabe ist dastehen und gut aussehen.
Es gibt Magazine Guacamayas!
Sky Magazine.
Ruben Berg, the head of the Spirit Task Force, and playing here with Fat Chili. How has the implementation of the game advisors gone from your perspective, Ruben?
It's been going really fantastically. I think we've seen most of the games that haven't been really needed at all, but there was a game obviously last night where they were there, and I think they played a really important role in making sure that the discussions didn't go for too long and being able to provide that advice. But we're still making sure that the players remain solely responsible for making and resolving all those calls.
So you think it's been a successful trial so far?
So far, I'd definitely say it's been a success, yeah.
And just a note on you're playing here with Fat Chili. How's that going?
It's going very well indeed. We've got our last pool game against Johnny Encore, which if we can win, we're going to top our pool. So
nice. And how are you enjoying the tournament and now the wonderful weather? You enjoying that?
It's been very nice. I think it was a good call to not play the first day, which has got us really nice fields for the rest of the tournament, and I think it's fantastic out here.
Thanks very much, Ruben, and good luck with the rest of your games and with the Spirit Task Force as well.
Thank you.
We're back with the second half in a couple minutes.
But still, yeah. I'm just a bit embarrassed. I don't want to interrupt their warm-up. No, I'm not. I can't. has ever been any consideration for writing more of a manual of sorts?
Hey Al, your beard is excellent.
Thank you. It's getting. I had a little shed do maybe 6 weeks ago. That just made it longer.
Yeah, a little bit. Mine was on
Not shiny. Coming in out of half. Both teams staying very close. Some early mistakes, but in the second half of the first half, both teams' offenses looking very efficient. So Uno with a chance to bring it within 1. Fujikawa.
Some very, very close man-on-man D here by Team Box.
Inamura working very well with Fujikawa. Very consistent dump sets. Fujikawa gets the inside break off. Inamura sends it. Nice shot, but an even better D from Shuwei Huang.
Great defense there. She'd be very happy with that.
It looks like there's going to be a foul actually on the throw, so that one's coming back.
Now I've got a tweet here from Amanda Kostick. An update says, I am Smithers. Cato, so she's talking about Kat Phillips. Cato was in Seattle for a week this winter and stayed with me and practiced with UW Element at a snow practice. Still buds. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you for the update. Danny Alexander will tap it in.
So Inamura with the disc looking for Fujikawa on the dump. Swung all the way over to Samashima. Nice fast movement from Uno. Not yet in the end zone, still about 10 meters out. Great dump and swing offense from Uno. Team Box with no answer for that, so Team Box hangs on to a 1-point lead as they'll be on offense.
Team Box, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, very conscious of their body language at all times, and I notice they run back to the line with their heads up. I've seen previously when they've been lining up after having been scored on, so lining up on the O point, still jumping around, still high-fiving, still really making an effort to show that they're in control of the game, that they're enjoying the game, that they're feeling positive, and I really think that helps their play.
Team Box has brought in a series of guest coaches to help them out during their season.
Yes, so I've got a list here. I can tell you about some of them. John Horan, Sandra Poon, Ruben Berg, Al Don, and Stu Austin. I will elaborate a little bit more after this poll. It's about to go up.
It's an interesting strategy, though, bringing in multiple guest coaches. A lot of teams feeling good with one solid coach, but trying to get different perspectives.
Team Box really likes to mix things up. If there's a traditional way of doing things, Team Box will not do it.
I even read before the game, they said one of their players spent some time training with Huck in Japan. They've even integrated Japanese warm-up techniques.
That's right. That was Michelle Phillips. Kat Phillips now looking for that Huck.
And disc almost bounces off the chest of Tony Cox. She's got it back into Caitlin Richards. Richards finds Phillips, the far sideline. Looks like there's a pick call downfield.
Very effective signing of the pick by Hussey there. Some discussion. They seem to have sorted it out happily. Definitely Kat Phillips will be looking in the back of the end zone. She's got Nat Ray. They've been best friends since high school. The two of them and Amanda Fung, a very tight unit. My guess is she will be looking for Hussey or Nat Ray in the back of the end zone. Oh, sorry. Kat Phillips doesn't have the disc anymore. It's gone back to Caitlin Richards or Dickey.
Game advisor coming in, I believe, to clarify on what the stall is coming in at. It looks like it's coming in at 4. So Phillips with it, far sideline. Phillips, quick backhand over the top, dishes it back to Phillips. Looks like there's a collision downfield and a pick call.
Possibly collision between two Uno players, I think.
So Hussey gets it up to Cox. Back to Richards. Swinging to Phillips. Phillips immediately to Armstrong. Armstrong pivoting, looking for an open shot, and it's hand blocked, but a foul will be called.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of pushing going on there. A lot of body contact as the throw is released.
Armstrong still with the disc. Gets it up to Phillips. Can she toe the line? She does.
Armstrong picture receiver there.
So Uno unable to shorten the lead. Team Box keeping it at 2. 9-7 in a game to 15.
Possibly at home you can hear Team Box pulling out one of their chants, one of their cheers. Really looking to rev themselves up to keep themselves in the right state of mind. Keep playing the way they have.
Uno, on the other hand, very strong team. They contributed 4 players to the women's national team that won gold in Sakai in 2012. 2 players from Uno played on the mixed team, and also 2 at the recent under-23 team in Toronto. The origin behind the team name says a lot about their team culture. We asked them before the game, what do you want us to tell to the fans back home? They said they want the fans to know that they are a strong and very fun team. Uno is an old Japanese kanji, which means one, and also means beginner, or beginning. So an old beginning for Uno, as they were founded in 2005. The commitment on this team very high. Some of their players come from all over Japan, commuting to Nagoya twice a week, up to 2 hours each way to practice with this team.
They also said in the information they gave us, written, they had too many fun stories to write down.
They like to think of themselves as not a typical Japanese team. They even wrote in their team survey, "We are not shy." They said once they get in a closed room and the alcohol, perhaps post-game, starts flowing, it turns into a bit of a different story. So Mizukami with Fujikawa. Fujikawa inside, one-handed grab. That'll be sent deep right into the end zone. It looks like that was Deed. I think it was going to go out of the bounds anyway, but Brereton coming up big again, using her frame to lay out and secure the D.
She loves her end zone layouts, that's for sure. Mish Phillips, also known as Snail. I think there's definitely some irony in that nickname, so Mish Phillips picks up the disc.
Michelle, inside break, it floats up. Luckily, receiver tall enough to catch it. Another blade and a one-handed catch from Xue Huang. Team box with numbers. Huang into the middle, loose defense from Uno. Team box with the break, going up 10-7 on the defending second place finisher from World Clubs 4 years ago.
So Shelly Slater caught that point. Shelly Slater is a relatively new addition to Team Box, joining the team 3 years ago now. She was a captain during their national season, their very successful national season this year where they came first. They've shuffled things around a little bit for the World Club Championships. Their current captains are Snail, so Mish Phillips, and Mei Lin. 2 Firetails, so national representatives, and also Mish Phillips is, of course, a World Games player.
Take another look at the replay. Xue Huang running it down, and the D on the other end from Brereton, just making sure that disc got successfully out of bounds. Lots of big plays from Team Box.
That is absolutely the kind of commitment they're going to need to win this game. They're absolutely giving everything at every opportunity. That's what you have to do.
They were very focused before the game. It looked like they might have gotten to the fields a little late, just 40 minutes before. They even had a timer on phones going off saying, this is your regimented throwing time, your regimented warm-up time. They're taking this game as seriously, more seriously than any other they've faced so far.
And so far it's paying off for them. They're up by 3.
So Uno working it again down the field. Sameshima's going to send it deep. And Minako Hori has been excellent at getting open deep, using her speed to assist Uno. They need to convert here, though, to bring it back to within 2. Inamura looking for the dump, back to Fujikawa. Fujikawa swings right into the end zone. Moe Sameshima toes the line to bring Uno to within 2.
The Japanese very sun conscious. You can see they're out there with their umbrellas. I've always been curious about the full body coverage that virtually all of the Japanese players seem to adopt for playing in summer tournaments. I just spoke to them about it yesterday. It's to keep the sun off. And look, it certainly will keep the sun off. My feeling is that all of those layers of clothing against your skin must make you really hot, but this is what most of the Japanese teams swear by. The Australian girls perhaps a little more used to this heat, just in their shorts and t-shirts, some of them with their sleeves pushed up to make sleeveless tops.
I just don't see how the Japanese can maintain their peripheral vision wearing both sunglasses and a forwards cap. Me with a forwards cap, I even feel like I can't reach up and look above my head for any hucks. I usually wear mine backwards.
Yeah, you don't see them throwing their hats on the ground to catch the hucks either.
They're just used to playing it. They play the way they train. You see many of the players with gloves Japanese often wear gloves just because they play in so many different weather conditions. They want their throws and catches to feel the same depending on if they're playing in heat, rain, and snow. And in Japan, playing all over the country, one can find all of these things at their various tournaments. Team box on offense. Phillips to Armstrong. Harris. Swung to the center of the field to Edie. Edie blades to Cox. Caitlin Richards is going to put it right into the end zone. Quinette Armstrong is wide open. Goes up for that one to secure the score for Team Box, up 11-8.
Quinette knew she had that disc as soon as she caught sight of it over her shoulder. I could see her body language change. I absolutely knew that she had this disc. I've played against her and watched her play in a number of tournaments now, just in the time she's been in Australia. Very determined player, will throw her body on the line and will get to that disc every single time. So, well-chosen receiver on that point.
Uno needs to make defensive adjustments to stop Team Box's offense. They've been getting too many easy scores. Earlier in the game, they were forcing Team Box to turn over the disc. So far, in the second half, Team Box's offense has been nearly perfect.
Absolutely.
Uno needs to try out a new defensive formation to force turnovers.
And I've noticed that Team Box is purposely putting the disc high, even on very, not necessarily even just hucks, even on very small throws over small number of meters. They'll sort of loft the disc up there because they know that their girls will get there first.
Pull about to the brick mark for Uno. And the disc is being sent deep to who else? Minako Hori. This is probably the 4th or 5th time that she's gotten wide open on the deep cut. One of the fastest players on Uno. Forehand break into the center of the reception. So Uno getting it done. Yuki Kimura with the score. And that's all well and good. Uno's offense rolling. They need to put on a defensive line that can not only get the break, but cash in it as well.
That was a very important point for Uno, I feel. Had they not scored it, the score difference would have gone to 4. That can often be a tipping point, even if it's just psychological. Getting down by 4 at this stage, this close to the 15-point cap, would have been a big deal. So, very well-timed point by Uno. Team Box put Danny Alexander on the key player, on Hori, and even she couldn't shut her down.
Hori's been big for Uno. You see here the pinpoint inside break. She's going to look dump and just put it in. Precise throw. Kimura laying out to score the point for Uno. So Uno within 2. Looking for the break here to make this game interesting going down the stretch.
Got another tweet from Shannon Trenwith here. If there was a traditional way of doing things, Team Box would not do it. Ha 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 on Aussie coach mentality. That's exactly right. Team Box really likes to mix it up. Try and notice a few more of their offense strategies here because they will definitely have some creativity.
Lee thinks about sending it deep. Swings back into the middle to Tegan Dawn, and it's hand blocked by Uno. And this could be Uno's chance for the break. Sidelines getting loud for Uno as they'll send it deep. The receiver laying out and unable to catch up.
I'd say her fingers almost scraped the edge of that disc. That was a great bid. I think in this situation, Uno has been very patient with setting up their offense. I know they were looking for the fast break there. Maybe, well, it looks like it didn't work for them. Maybe they should have done that.
Joy Lee walking the disc back up for Team Box. Lee finding Nat Ray, immediately dumps it back to Lee. Now to Madeline Young.
She's the other player who's recently shaved her head for charity.
And a layout D from Japan. That was spectacular. Moi Samashima Uno with another chance, really ramping up the defense now, but it's thrown away. It looks like there's going to be a foul on the throw.
Great reflexes by Molly Young there.
Young almost gets the clean hand block. Unfortunately, just a bit of contact. Inside break into the center. Samashima on the doorstep. Uno scores.
Very clinical offense there by Uno to bring it to within 1. Again, they're not in the picture now, but Team Box jogging very confidently back to their line. Very confident in the offense they can bring to this next point.
Uno celebrating the break. They're going to need at least one more if they want to keep the game close.
This is starting to feel a little bit like the game yesterday that Team Box played against Revolution. Very close, within 1 or 2 points all the way through. There certainly was a 10-11 score at one stage. That game yesterday, the Revolution, so Revolution from Colombia against Team Box, was one of the best games I have seen at the tournament, if not the best. The athleticism shown by both teams was incredible.
Let's take a look at that D layout. Definitely one of the plays of the game from Moe Samashima.
And then just clinically finish it off.
Uno pulling off now to box, looking for one more break to tie it up.
Karen Baker.
And nice shot from Team Box into the center. It's back to Shuei. Shuei backhand to Phillips.
Just a double team there.
Kat Phillips pivoting. She's going to send the crossfield huck too far.
Looks like Team Box was starting off almost with, and for a few points now, almost with a German or Feldrunner style of play. They set their stack quite deep and send one cutter into that whole middle space to own that space and get the first pass. Very short stack again here from the Japanese women.
Fukuoka is going to send it deep right away and answers back with a turnover of their own. That one was too low and too fast. So Team Box with another chance to make up for the turnover from before. Shuei picks up to Phillips with the one-handed grab. Phillips trying to get it off the line. A foul called. Or actually travel called on Phillips. Play doesn't stop, so Phillips with a nice reaction time to get it back to Shuei. Baker to Danny Alexander. Back to Phillips. Phillips backhand right into the end zone. Tony Cox toes the line to keep Team Box with a 2-point lead.
Chest bump there between Tony Cox and Kat Phillips. That is exactly what Team Box needed right now. There could have been a shift in momentum, but that point keeps them solidly ahead.
Take another look at that replay. The reception from Phillips and backhand squeezing it in. Tony Cox right on the line for Team Box.
Tony Cox, a relatively new addition to Team Box from New Zealand. It's fitting in really well, though. Helped the team in their national championship win this year.
As Team Box pulls off, we see many players from Fury on the sidelines doing a bit of scouting. Fury is the other team in this power pool, so it's going to be Uno, Team Box, and Fury. Certainly formidable set of teams and very scary matchups for all of them.
Hard to see the brick mark out there. I think it's been obliterated in the mud. I did walk on the field at halftime, though. They're they're pretty solid. They're probably better than they look.
So we see a zone here from Team Box.
Looks like a two-person cup, possibly a 2-3-2, with Tegan Dawn and Shelley Slater in that two-person cup, running pretty hard. The Japanese women moving it quickly, and Chloe McDonald tucking in to help there, maybe a little bit too far. So a very fluid 2-3-2 that becomes a three-person cup up the front. Mostly maintaining the Japanese play at this point. They're having to put it back and forth across the field.
They really need to do is swing it and get it to that near end zone. They've been stuck on the far end zone. That throw finally opens it up. So they've done a good job there of switching the field to Mizuno. Mizuno past the laying out defender Kimura to Inamura. Out of Fujikawa. Very short, quick passes from the Japanese.
The zone's still on close to their end zone. They're confident with it. Team Box.
Uno doing a fantastic job of gaining meters on each swing pass. And they'll break that zone down. So Uno staying within one. They need another break to tie it up.
Always risky playing your zone all the way back to the end zone. However, a transition that close to the scoring area can also be dangerous. So Team Box opting to stick with the zone. Didn't work for them. Looks like they're calling a timeout now.
So both players from both teams will talk about the timeout as you see then the replay, the dismantling of Team Box's zone by Uno. And as we've mentioned before, this is textbook offensive efficiency. They've done a fantastic job of not just swinging the disc, but making sure their outside handlers on the wings are positioned up so that they can gain 3 or 4 meters with each pass.
And at one stage, the Japanese women just found that hole and so in the cup and was able to put it through. And those wings were able to move it up the field.
Stick with us during this timeout. This is Liam Rosen here with Nikki Smith at Skyd Magazine's coverage of the World Ultimate Club Championships in Lecco, Italy. Exciting game coming down the stretch as Uno's defensive line pulls off to Team Box. They have not yet found an answer. They've cashed in one break to bring it to within 1. But as this game nears its end, game to 15, they'll need a break within the next 2 points.
Hussey thinking about the huck face. There she goes.
She sends it. That's a blading huck, and it's caught by Harris. Harris gets it off to Phillips. Phillips back to Shuwei. Shuwei finding Phillips again. About 3 meters out now. Into the center to Hussey. Hussey up top to Phillips. Goes up for that grab. Phillips to Shuwei. Team Box unable to find a hold. They do now. A Shuwei forehand break to Kat Phillips for the score.
That was a great throw by Shuwei. Very quick reflexes, just down. Hip pocket, boom, forehand for the score.
Team Box feeling good, just 2 points away from notching a key win in their power pool. We see again on the replay, Shu-Wei forehand break, finding Kat Phillips. Break side cut, put Team Box up by 2.
So we've got a few Aussie fans watching at home. Patrick Dunn, now this is from a couple of points ago, but I'll read it out. Patrick Dunn says, I am Smithers, reckon Uno would be quite disappointed, earned the turn, and then throw it away almost straight away. STBAU needs to cash in. And that is exactly what they've been doing. STBAU up by 2 points, looking for 2 more for the win.
Uno has tried some things defensively, but unable to stop the offensive game from STBAU. Team Box doing everything right, everything seeming to go their way. They're having a great game.
They've gone back to man-on-man defense.
And I think when you play great games like this, it's as much mental as it is physical, as we see a huck to who else but Minako Hori, who gets open deep yet again, flips it into the end zone, but it's too quick. The receiver not able to get a hand on it. So STBAU with a chance of putting this game on the doorstep.
Yes, unfortunate about the conservation of greatness there. That was a great run by Hori, and she just needed to take another breath before she threw it.
Lee, far sideline. Looking for the dump. It looks like there's a call on the field. Stahl is going to come in at 3. Lee breaks to Michelle Phillips. Back to Lee. Lee squeezes the backhand into Slater. Slater now into Baker. To Phillips again. Phillips with momentum puts it into the end zone for Lee. Team Box just 1 point away from the key Power Pools win. 14-11 over Uno, the defending silver medalists from World Ultimate Club Championships 2010 in Prague.
That was an absolutely beautiful point there. You can tell that Joy Lee and Mish Phillips have been playing together for years now. Team Box was Mish Phillips' very first club team after she finished university back in 2007. Well, she joined the team in 2007. That's not when she finished university. And the connection between those two girls was amazing on that point. They just knew exactly what the other was going to do. They've also played together on the Firetails. So ongoing great connection from Team Box to put them in an excellent position to take the game here.
See again the replay. There was the quick flip pass and just a key drop near the end zone. Maybe wasn't expecting it. And then the beautiful long shot to Joy Lee in the end zone. Uno, though, with a chance to stay alive if they can run their offense. 14-11. This is game point. It's a game to 15. Uno working it down between the handlers. Fujikawa to Samashima. Samashima's going to send it deep. Hori open again. This time we'll see if she can stay patient. She's got a receiver open. And Team Box can't match the speed from the Japanese. So Uno staying alive. 14-12. STBAU will go on offense with a chance to take the game.
You're right, Liam, that it seems no one on Team Box can match the speed of Hori. And look, that's saying something. I would say that Team Box has some of the fastest women in Australian Ultimate, if not the fastest ones. Danny Alexander, Michelle Phillips, among others. And it just seems that Hori can get open at will and be there for the huck.
I believe an Australian tradition that I really like is I believe it's called the Dooley.
The Dooley-O, yep.
The Dooley-O is the race that happens at Australian Nationals. Each team picks their fastest player and they run from end zone to end zone, is it?
That's it. There's a few more details. You've got it. It happens at halftime and the finals and nationals. Now the players run barefoot. They start stomach down, toes on the line, so facing away from the direction they'll be running. So in the end zone, toes on the end zone line. At the whistle, they stand up, turn around, and sprint barefoot down the field. I know that Michelle Phillips has won it at least on one occasion. This year, I'm not aware of the women's winner, but certainly we've got Dulio winners on this team.
Team Box with a chance to put the game away. Huck out of bounds.
So Liz Eady walking it in. Liz Eady is the woman you want with the disc, running the offense as a handler.
Phillips. Forehand into the middle to Lee. Back to Phillips. Phillips looking for the up line, swings all the way across the field to Eady.
That's great work in the back by those two girls. That's what they need to do.
Phillips again, and Team Box slowly gaining meters as they swing. Joy Lee back to Phillips.
Will the Huck face come out? Nope.
But a forehand inside break face will come out as Phillips thinking about the end zone shot, but she throws right into a poach from Uno, and Uno going the other way. Uno setting up their offense. Inamura looking for the up line. Samashima having no trouble getting free up line. Uno staying patient. This is a break chance for them. Fujikawa, timeout called.
I think that's a very good call on the part of the Uno women. They need to just slow things down, collect themselves, and make the absolute best of this opportunity. This could be their last opportunity.
So as teams talk it out, stay with us here. Liam Rosen with Nikki Smith on Sky Magazine's coverage of the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships. After the timeout, Uno takes some time to compose their offense. A score here from STBAU would mean a game win. This is a game to 15.
So I have a tweet here from John McNaughton, watching at home in Australia. Good day, John McNaughton. With respect to Hori getting open all the time for points in the end zone, John McNaughton says, not really a speed issue. Team Box have marked that receiver under from the throws were from same thrower and position every time. Need to back her. Good point, John McNaughton. Thank you for the strategic advice from Australia.
Inamura, inside break to Fujikawa. Fujikawa thinks about the inside again. Australian defenders doing a good job of trying to cut away that inside. They're continuing, though, to force them forehand. It might be an interesting adjustment to try the backhand to stop those inside breaks. Backhand high release over the top. Mitsukami on the sideline. Back to Fujikawa. Samashima to Inamura. Inamura up the sideline. Samashima gets free. Uno 13-14, and Team Box will be forced to do it again after they had the disc on the goal line to win it. Phillips threw it into the hands of the poach.
Yep, Uno has taken advantage of their opportunities here, has executed some clinical offense to keep this game very, very interesting. Regrouping, celebrating under the shade. They've brought their umbrellas out to support their players.
So Team Box looking to go far here at Worlds. They didn't go to Worlds before at all.
No, this is
formed after Worlds happened in Perth, I believe. They didn't attend in Prague.
They didn't, and the two Australian teams that represented Australia at last Worlds, represented the country really well, played really hard and had a great time. Didn't secure seedings for Australia that have helped Team Box this time. They had a very tough pool, as Liam mentioned earlier, and they're in another tough pool here. They've got Fury on the sideline watching them and waiting for their afternoon game.
Team Box running it down again. Phillips. Shuwei. Back to Phillips. Bailey Schwa got wide open on the another cut. Swings it back to Phillips again. At Phillips to Alexander. Back to Phillips. Phillips right on the end zone line. Dishes it to another poach. And a key end zone turnover for Phillips. Foul called on the mark.
This game has suddenly gotten very, very, very interesting. It was already interesting, and this is a whole new level.
Phillips with two key end zone turnovers. Just rushing, trying to win the game. Nerves playing a bit of a factor. Uno goes the other way. Samashima back to Fujikawa. Uno has showed it that when their offense is clicking, they are nearly unstoppable. Inside break again. Team Box has to stop those inside break chances.
They need to keep their hands low.
Fujikawa back to Inamura. Uno not taking any risks on this point. Swings back to Samashima. Samashima's got her defender off balance. Mitsukami to the end zone. Yuki Kimura scores to bring it to universe point.
Wow, Liam, this game has just gotten incredibly intense and interesting. Uno down at some stages at 3, have scored the last 3 now to bring it 14-14 in a game to 15.
This is going to be a cracker. This is a key power pool spot for both teams, as it will surely affect advancement chances as STBAU looks to take on San Francisco Fury later in the day.
Those Fury girls watching now, very interested in the outcome. Team Box still looking positive. Whole team on the field. Looks like the game advisor may be wandering over. No, he's headed towards the sideline. Coming together for a cheer now, confident they can do it.
So Team Box from Melbourne, Australia.
I attended one of their training camps in the lead up. The vibe and the work ethic on that team was incredible. I was there for maybe 3 hours, and the work that they were putting in, the drills they were doing, absolutely incredible.
Looks like I'm not sure which team has called a timeout just before double game point. So the teams will talk it out on Sky Magazine's coverage of women's power pools, the World Ultimate Club Championships in Italy. Coming in after the timeout, Uno will pull to Team Box.
Very strong line for Team Box. World Game players here. Firetails.
Team Box working it up. Raritan. Hussey, layout D from Uno.
Wow, the Japanese really, really want this point.
Moi Samashima getting completely horizontal for the Japanese. Now they'll have to punch it in to seal this game. Gets the upline pass to Fujikawa, the captain. Fujikawa, Uno, off to the races. Inamura, back to Fujikawa. Fujikawa, forehand to Inamura. Swings back to Fujikawa. Right outside the end zone now is Uno. Kimura to Mizukami. Fujikawa still with the disc. Hard marks from Team Box. Fujikawa inside break. She's not in. Team Box can't make the defensive adjustment, and Uno takes the game.
Wow, Liam. Team Box led the entire game, sometimes by 3 points. And Uno really, really, really wanted that final point. Last 3 points, last 4 points, I believe, were theirs.
2 gutting turnovers in the end zone by Phillips leads to 2 break chances for Uno. And how about that layout D from Moe Samashima to win this Power Pools game for Uno?
That was an incredible performance by the Japanese women when it counted. That is what championship teams do. When it really, really matters, they pull out all stops, and that is exactly what Uno did today.
Let's take another look at this D. Samashima getting horizontal in front of the disc for the D on Caitlin Richards. Here it is from another angle.
Incredible athleticism and incredible desire for the disc.
And STBAU unable to make the defensive adjustments in the end zone. Uno finally pokes it in for the score and the win in this Power Pools matchup. And Uno bringing some of their experience to the table. They've been here before. Silver medalists at World Ultimate Club Championships in Perth, Australia in 2006, in Prague in the Czech Republic in 2010, and now gunning for a semifinal spot here in Lecco, Italy in 2014.
That final game between Uno and Fury in Prague in 2010, spoken to a couple of people saying that is one of the all-time best games they've ever watched. Absolutely incredible game, which Uno came very, very close to winning, and certainly using some of that experience of high-pressure situations here.
So both teams will go into a spirit circle. As we've mentioned before, their Team Box is going to face off against San Francisco Fury later in the day, so they'll have a tough matchup on their hands after that Universe Point loss to Uno. Fury here on the sidelines doing a bit of scouting before their next game. So Uno, the team that's been around since 2005, lots of new rookies this year that they've had to integrate, fighting through the circumstances, persevering. They were down all game. They just got the key breaks that they needed to win it, capitalized on the turnovers, and then it was the active defense from Moi Samashima that ended the game for Uno.
Stay with us here for an after-game interview. Players engaged right now, interested to know what they were saying in the Spirit Circle. Certainly it appeared from here to be a spirited game. Some calls got discussed, but resolved relatively quickly. Some bumping on the disc, but really a clean, well-spirited game.
We're going to go in just a few moments to a post-game interview from Rachel Tožnerova, Sky correspondent. It's actually no interview. We're going to go to highlights of the game, so stick around for that. We've got a very exciting match coming up at 1 p.m. If you're a fan of the Open Division, Free Speed from Switzerland taking on Canada's Furious George. Furious just beat East Midlands Open 15-11 in their first power pool game. Stick around for that. This is Liam Rosen for Nikki Smith signing off on Sky Magazine's coverage of the World Ultimate Club Championships in Lecco, Italy.
We want to send it to highlights now. You did? Okay. You're not talking. No, this is offense. Are we on for highlights? So what do we want to do? Do we want to get them on, or do we want to wait? Really? They're not ready. You're running highlights now? Okay, cool. They're just heading out.
Is a part of you. The werewolf is a part of you. The werewolf is a part of you. The werewolf is a part of you. if you guys have any problems, even personal ones, I wish to come and see you. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Great, because you got a problem.
Oh yeah? What kind of problem? As you can see, I'm a very busy man here.
Yeah, well, it's kind of complicated.
Oh, those kind of problems. Yeah. What is it, drugs?
And hi again from the fields. I'm standing here with number 10 from Uno, Moe. You guys just had an incredible game, won it at the end. How did it feel?
It's hard to keep our offense, but during the second half, we talked about preventing hack, and
it worked out.
Yeah.
Completely. Absolutely. You guys are in the power pool with Fury from the US and also Eau de Cologne from Germany. Which one do you guys think is going to be a harder match for you, a harder game?
Fury.
Fury, definitely. Is there any tactics that you guys have prepared against them? What are you going to play?
Fury don't miss their offense, so we improve our defense, and we hope to win.
Excellent. Do you have any message that you would like to pass to your Japanese fans over at home?
Okay. 苦しい試合をしていますが、頑張って決勝に行って優勝したいと思います。応援よろしくお願いします。That's all.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview and good luck to the rest of your games.
Thank you.
Thanks. And that's it for this game, and stay tuned and check the schedule for our next games today at SkyMagazine.com.